Testing, testing. Looks like everything's working. Let's see. Turn the music down a bit. Turn my mic up a little bit. Oh, it's all the way up. See if I can go like this. No, 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 no. I'm gonna push this button here. Testing, testing, testing. Yep, that worked. Straight up turning the knob. All right. Desktop audio is looking good. It's pretty low. We'll keep it that way. Now let me check and see if YouTube is actually... No, it's not streaming. Interesting. Let me check and see on my actual channel here. They just make things so fucking crazy on this. Okay, we're turning that down a little bit. Now, does it show that I'm live? Doesn't. So they've changed it again. Oh no, it's there. All right. Let me just check in on this. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna... Yeah, their little manager sucks. It wasn't showing the stream, so screw that. Not using it. Anyways, I am going to... Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, guys. It's been a while. I'm going to check out... God, I used to... You know, I had everything set up here. I had Restream. I had, you know, all these sound effects and text chat box display on screen. That sort of thing. I don't anymore. Okay, this music is a little bit too dour for me right now. It's a little too dour. I'll go with something a little, you know, we'll just go with it. Yo, what's up, everybody? So, long time no see to my 2 or 3 viewers that I've had over the, you know, years. Anyways, yeah, this project, the Werimym of Artriu. Okay, this music is fucking distracting. Hold on. Man, like, you would think, you know, here's what, no, this isn't. We're gonna do, what the fuck was that game? Oh, what was it called? Zelda, fucking dance, with a fucking rhythm game. What was it called? That game, yeah, Cadence of Hyrule, here we go. Cadence of Hyrule, yeah, this is a great soundtrack. Great game too. Anyways. Okay, I'm getting super distracted here. All right. Oh, Jesus. This fucking thing, I swear. All right. So... Anyways, the Werimym of Artriu. So it started out with my last video where you saw, and this was, I don't know how long ago it was, but I was talking about, you know, how I've made some progress. This is based off of some old stuff I wrote in the 90s, you know. Well, actually, no. The whole idea came from the 90s, but this particular section I wrote around 2006 or 7 or 8 or one of those. But anyways, so I wrote it, you know, when I kind of first started college, and but I was really into, you know, science fiction and fantasy, of course. And you know, throughout the years, I've had to, you know, work on my career and all this stuff, and you know, you get kind of wrapped up in getting financially stable and all that stuff, and making a career out of this, you know, it can be, getting that down, it can be a pretty time-consuming thing. But stating the obvious there. But I always wanted to kind of, and I have throughout the years come back to this idea and like touched on it and added some concept art or got really into it. I've finally been making moves to just finally finish this and get something going. You know what I mean? I mean, it's all there. I got a template I've made. I've just, everything's in place right now. And so that's what this piece is here. This is, I'm working on the logo here, and I guess since this is what I'm doing right now is a video series for like YouTube or whatever, it's this whole 16:9 thing, so it's gonna be, you know, framed like that. I didn't want it to feel like a movie. I didn't want it to feel like a book. I didn't want it to feel like, there's a lot, because I looked at a lot of reference and just the way that these are laid out. These are more like lore videos, but they would be supplemental videos to like a book or a graphic novel or something like that I'm planning on translating this to, but that's just the minutia of kind of my thinking right now. But getting this down is going to really help me just figure out what is this thing that I've been working on for so long. And you know, the writing is all there, and just the images in my head are all there. It's just now putting it into something that is just going to live as what it is. I think that's it's just time for that to happen, you know, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I'm here for it. So it's gone through a lot of iterations. I guess I could show you guys some of the iterations that just weren't very good, or I didn't really end up liking. If we go to the Eternus Continuum, we go to illustrated frames. I think it's something like in here. So we get these kind of images. You know, I had these ideas for the logo. You know, it's just all hand painted stuff too. You know, I got little pieces here for the video. It's gone through a lot of iterations, let's just say that. But I've really finally arrived on something that I'm happy with. So at this point, like at some point it was this one, you know, like I painted this. Let's bring it down. And it's cool, you know, it works for the video. It's pretty neat. It shows some of the lore here and stuff, but I just wasn't working for me. Maybe this fits at the end, but you know, it's just one of those things. You're moving things around. You're like, this was the first idea I had of like, let's make it like a frame, you know, let's make it like some kind of game product or whatever, you know, like it's video lore videos. And I'm not an animator. I'm an illustrator, so I'm going up with that angle. You know, I'm not gonna be making this shit. I don't know if I'm gonna be making it like layered and you know, like I almost want it to be like an exhibition or an exhibit of my work, you know, my illustration, because that's what I like to do, you know. I really, if I finish it and it's good, that means that I can at least get maybe a team together or something. That's really, you know, future thinking there. But my hope is basically that get a whole team working on something like this. That would be really neat. But of course, you know, people have to understand and believe in the project, so that's part of why I'm doing this. And this will be free. As far as like right now, I think it'll be just free. I'll put it on my YouTube channel and basically, hey, here's a sample of what, you know, my storytelling ideas are like, and it's just one little fraction of like a whole bunch of other stuff I have written down in like Google Docs and stuff, Google Drive or whatever, I guess they're calling that now. So it's kind of all there, and you know, I have everything's ready. I have PDFs that I would, you know, of course you'd sign an NDA, but I'd be able to share with people, and lore documents, I mean, they're huge. Have glossaries and everything. So star map, I mean, everything. Not really too crazy. I mean, it's not super complicated, but it's just a lot of work for one person to do it. And you know, I don't necessarily want to be a one-person team. You know, I would love to just have like maybe 3, 4 to 5, maybe even more people, like, just, we're into this, let's do this, let's make this happen. And what would that end result be? I'm thinking, you know, it could be anything, right? If you create a universe and have some pieces that people can get a vibe for it, shit, man, it could be video game. I mean, just like a top-down RPG would be so freaking neat to make out of this, like, you know, animation. And what I'm doing, it's just a lore video, and I'll show you guys, because my last video I showed you some of the storyboards, and you know, I think I had about 160 images for the storyboards that are meant to be illustrations up to at least this level or higher, hopefully higher. I'm always trying to get, you know, have higher quality. So I'll just kind of flash you the thumbnails here, and this is all these. This isn't the whole 160 illustrations. This is like 64, I think, or something like that. I don't know, but it's basically, I cut this project in half. So the original storyboard you saw in my first video was what's it called? It's probably about 20 something, 25-minute video. But I've cut that in half. So this project I'm working on now is part 1 of 2. And it's the Werimym of Artriu. It's illustrated sort of look at this world and what I wrote kind of like to set the stage of this world. Because, you know, the idea is always like, I want to, you know, have a unique world that is kind of my own design and that I can sort of play in for well, there's a story that this all fits into, which is something I'd be working on probably after this. It's called The Last War of Artriu, and it's, so, you know, if nobody ever sees this, the Werimym of Artriu, and just experiences the Last War, and then they say, oh, let's check this guy out, and then they see this on my channel, I think that's pretty cool. And the fact that it's free, it's like supplemental lore, it's like, wow. So this whole story, it's like a sort of a high fantasy, science fantasy, but then like, oh, cool, I get this extra nugget of like stuff, you know? Oh, this is the birth of the planet, you know? So that's something I've always wanted to do. And I know a lot of artists love this stuff too. Like I'd say most illustrators and artists would love to just create their own world and like, what's it gonna look like? And because I know a lot of them get on projects and they're, you know, they're having to make money. So they're working on another project. And that's super cool. But yeah, I just suspect that most artists want to create their own stuff, you know, their own world. And I'm pretty blessed that I get a chance to do that in my life. But anyways, without further ado, I'll kind of give you a little preview of where I'm at with it. So we'll open the After Effects here. And the cool thing I love about After Effects is it just, let's see, do I? Okay, no, of course I don't have any viewers. Oh yeah, there's one watching, that's me. Anyways, gosh, I lost my track. So what I love about After Effects is how, you know, if you have your folders set up like to be, you know, After Effects is using, these are where they're at, this is where they live. Okay, so all I gotta do is just update the JPEG and it's good to go, man. It plops it right into the comp. I just love that, you know, this is quality of life stuff that I just wish more programs had, but you know, of course, these programs are pretty amazing outright. So I had a lot of complaints, honestly, with most of this stuff. It's actually a miracle that these even exist. So anyways, so let me just make the video window bigger a little bit and scroll this down. So a little bit now, I've named this like a dev blog. It's not really a dev thing, it's more like the animation blog. But basically, how can I describe it? And of course, yeah. I'm sort of, I'm playing around with branding for a studio. This is lofty dream stuff, but hey, look, put it in the beginning. If we get grouped together, Lamprey Studios, let's go. Let's fucking do it. Here's the logo that, of course, if you've seen on my channel where I sculpted it, I use one of these online things where you can kind of just make some motion graphics. It's kind of placeholder, I would love, that's what I mean. If I had a good motion graphics artist to help with this, that'd be pretty amazing. Anyways, so I'm gonna just actually turn this music off first, and then what we're gonna do is let's go to just turn that off, and then we're gonna turn this audio up. So you're gonna hear basically VO, which is AI. I had to use, I can't, my voice sucks. I'm not going to do it to read myself. I do intend on this actually, as soon as it's all kind of wrapped up, I'm going to try to get a voiceover artist. I want someone really good, I just want someone, that'll nail it. And hopefully it's not, going to bankrupt me or anything, but it's definitely on the menu of stuff. The music samples I had at first were AI generated stuff I did, but I am now working on actually scoring it myself using Fruity Loops, and I got a whole setup back there now that I have financed about just a keyboard, MIDI keyboard, and I've got this thing where it's a microphone where you can sing into it, and it gives you stuff on your Fruity Loops, so you can really you can freestyle, and it's been really cool because I used to be into music development years ago, but I just, I had to focus more on the art. But, so, you're going to hear a little bit of that. It's very rough. It's not finished at all. But, yeah, just to set the backstory of what you're going to be listening to. Yeah, the AI stuff was actually it was cool. It was working. I think I used Mugen, or no, it wasn't Mugen. It was Moobert. That's the one. But, it's just, one thing I love about a piece of work is the scoring, and the mood you can get with the score is, I think, a huge part of a project. And I can't leave that in the hands of just, an algorithm. So it's just, I'm not into that. But with that being said, developing it it's it's challenging, but it's getting there. But let's just hear it. So we'll just start here. It's very low, actually.
The Werimym of Artriu. This log documents the birth and life of planet Artriu, from its early beginnings in the stormy haze of the void to the end of its first war. Its people are thought to have initiated...
Sorry guys, I have to maybe zoom out. Well, I wish I can get rid of this stuff. Let me get rid of this. How do I get rid of that? Get out of here. Oh my goodness. There's some things about this program I just don't know how to do. Get out of here. Oh my God. Here we go. All right. Okay, let's put this down. All right. Let's start again here. Well, no, we'll just...
This log documents the birth and life of planet Artriu, from its early beginnings in the stormy haze of the void to the end of its first war. Its people are thought to have initiated the mythical moment of Mayrekan, or the departure of the spirit, which is said to have spawned the first planets of mankind. Greetings, Watcher, and welcome to the Eternus Continuum. Section 1. The Beginning. Planet Artriu started out as a cluster of molecules that formed centuries after the explosion, 2,000 light-years away from a blue dwarf named Drago. Artriu's moons were 3, Ican, Bada, and Jerwin. Its life spawned from the sulfurous molecules that interacted with the early planet's biosphere. And with the passing of time, the newborn planet began a transformation. Its crust welled up with inner pressure, and it attracted vast swathes of wandering space matter, and the whole planet was unstable and volatile. The constant churning of the skies perpetuated a planet-wide storm for what was eons, and the mixture of matter and constant friction in the sky became a virtual magnet for celestial organisms, and an atmosphere was born. Section 2. The Zemes. The planet then underwent a biological explosion, starting with the emergence of Zemes. Zemes were very tiny creatures and lived in the many pools of methane and sulfur that littered the brownish-yellow mountainscape. There in those ancient pools they festered and multiplied, and soon the rivers were rimmed with their slime. The slime caked and grew for 1,000 Artriuan years. There in pools of methane and sulfur the Zemes transformed and mutated into simple, moving, breathing creatures. Inside those pools, these microscopic creatures evolved. Some of them learned skills, and some of them grew to have extra advantages. Some of them were left behind and became prey to the more advanced creatures of the great pools. In time, the Zemes were found to inhabit 76% of the planet's waters, and they continued their growth without any bounds holding them back. As the waters slowly dissolved the outer crust of Artriu, layers of carbon radiation became exposed in the great pools. At first, this was fatal to many of the Zemes, namely those in the northern territories. But some Zemian organisms embraced the change and began a growth unlike any seen in the pools. In the areas near the central axis of Artriu, the Zemes were breaking through to a new existence. Section 3. The Fermes. The most dominant of those species were the Fermes. The Fermian species had developed to be far more efficient, and they ruled the competition with an unrivaled skill and a large appetite. The Fermes would gorge upon its prey. It was much quicker, and it became increasingly bigger. Zemes that fell prey to this new threat were faced with annihilation. Many Zemians became extinct as a result of the massive consumption of the Fermian species. The Fermes became bold and pushed their way up to the very north of Artriu. For the Fermes that migrated north, it was there that they settled in. The pool of the north was a great valley of ancient waters. The Fermes quickly became the dominant species in the upper Artriu. It was there that conditions were most favorable for them. Section 4. The Second Great Storm. The storms in Middle Artriu became much more destructive and shook the planet with their might. For the Zemes living in the center of the planet, survival was dismal and hopeless. Earthquakes rocked the central areas of Artriu, and great fissures cracked and split the areas around the circumference of the planet. For this time, most Zemes retreated to the depths of the great pool of central Artriu. The landscape became cracked and twisted as a result. Giant mountain walls were formed, and great shelves slanted at high points. Some of the great water welled in unlikely places, and new life began to spawn in those hidden pockets. The areas around the great central life pool resembled a rocky beach of crimson and ochre, and the blue sun Drago intensified over the span of the great storm. And for a time, the great pools would frequently boil, sometimes shooting in the air up to thousands of miles. Sulfuric clouds billowed from those pools in spurts of hazy, rust-colored mist. During this great storm, it frequently poured chloric rain onto the surface of Artriu. Its spray would crack violently within the sulfuric atmosphere, sending violent negative charges echoing through the hazy midlands. Section 5. The Age of Fermes. It was in the north of Artriu where the Fermes began to evolve rapidly. The atmosphere in the north was a crimson blanket of thick, rich dust and sulfur. These were the perfect spawning grounds for the Fermes, and the atmosphere became even more thick and dense as time wore on. In these life waters there was a high level of carbon radiation. This radiation further mutated the basic forms of these Fermian
Alright, so
organisms,
you kind of get
and
the
they
idea,
developed
right?
what were the first limbs of any Artrian
Sorry to interrupt it,
species.
but yeah, you know.
The life waters in northern Artriu began.
It's going to be free, so I mean, you know, it's nothing, you know, I'm not worried about, oh, I don't want to spoil it, because, like I said, like, nobody's watching this. They're more than likely to probably watch it after the fact if this does kind of like, you know, make any kind of impact. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'm not too worried about that. Because really the whole thing rides on, is it good? Do people want to even watch it? You know, it's 25 minutes in all. Can I cut some? Maybe, I don't know. But I feel like right now what I have is all information I'd like to convey about this world. So that's why I'm not like, I mean, the only things I would cut would be maybe later. But anyways, I mean, like you can see that the illustrations are at varying levels of finish. I think this right here is a good level of finish for me. It's not by any means like super ultra detailed, but it just gets the point across. Like I said, I have so many of these to do. This is going to be freaking insane. I mean, I've gotten to these points with this. This is like the first section, right? First section. Everything's looking pretty good. You know, I mean, it's like I'm always going to criticize my own work, but I mean, it conveys the message. It's the color and moods all fit what I'm thinking, so it's really what I'm focused on. But as you can see, like this little transition here, and I'll zoom in a little more again. This took me like a few weeks to really suss out because I had a lot of different ones. Let me see if I can find some of those. They would be under branding. So you have a whole file structure here, folks. Probably an archive now because I've archived a lot of it. Let's see, this is maybe the first one. Nope. So this is an earlier version of just this, right? I've just been cleaning it up, fixing it, making it look cool, which we'll do that on this stream as soon as I'm done kind of showing you guys what's up. You know, it's just like I went through a few of these where I was like, you know, for a while it was on the side, the bottom left. It looked too much like a book. I was like, this ain't really a book. So, you know, you gotta just do it until you're satisfied, right? I noticed that a lot of my favorite stuff was like this. The frame wasn't too huge. It was tamed, kind of back there. And for video, it just seems like the title has to be near the center or just very prominent. And if you have an illustration in the background, it has to be composed in a way where, just like a book cover or anything else, it took me a while for that to click for me. I was like, well, I just want it to be like, you know, I wasn't thinking of the layout, but it's here now. Okay, these are the wrong ones. Let me just get rid of this. Which one did I just open? Shit, I don't want to fucking close the one I'm working on, but whatever. Let's just close. Okay, this is the one I'm working on apparently. Yeah, so I put together this design doc. You know, I'd been using this image for a while, and you know, I could maybe use it for the end, or maybe even the next video. You know, but it was a really fun illustration. I mean, geez, I really enjoyed. I could probably even, you know, work on it a little more. But what's really great is these illustrations are more representative of a later time in this, because what you saw there in the video is this is ancient times. We're going through like a Permian extinction and blah blah blah. We're going through a bunch of stuff, and I tried to mirror Earth's beginnings in a lot of ways, but I'm gonna add a little magic to it, and that's gonna come in the next section. If you see my first video, my first sketch, it's called, or my first kind of dev blog thing, you'll see that I show later on, like when the kingdoms get established and all that stuff. All geeky, fun stuff. Anyways, one more thing I wanted to show you, which I hope I know where it is. Style guides, no. Archive, lore, branding, where would it be? Trying storyboards. Maybe it would be in illustrated frames, Werimym of Artriu, archive. Yeah, maybe layered. No, yeah, it kind of has it. So that was my first frame. Yeah, this is it actually. I know I found it. Let's go to master. Yeah, this is where it was at first. It was going to be sort of like this. And that's just the layout real quick, you know, just getting the layers all set up, which this could have been cool, but it just wasn't fitting with the rest of the video. This being in between everything, like every section, just wasn't working for me. You see how it's almost laid more out like a game, like a loading screen or something, which I kind of thought of that would be good, but It just has to fit the format a little better. Like this is a little better. And you know, I'm going to try maybe in the illustration to get rid of this tangent here. I don't know. There's little things I could do in the illustration that I think could actually fix all that stuff. So, what else? Right, I think I'm going to just start working on this. Put on some music and just start blasting it. You know, there's another one that was, I wonder where it is. Frame, base, frame recovered, icon. Title, PSD. No. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but it was really very primitive, but it just showed, you know, basically what I just showed you, but just different colors. So now it's, you can see it's more tame. It's way more tame. So yeah, that's the illustration. And yeah, there we go. There's some older titles I had. I had a really good one. Where'd that go? No? Oh, well, whatever. I've saved over some of them because I'm just like, you know what? I've got what I want now. So let's just get rid of this here. Just close it and get back to what we were doing. And I'll put on some music here too. So let's see here. Well, hopefully my audio levels were good just then. It's going to be a surprise once I get back to, you know, whatever. Let's see here. Okay, here we go, folks. And I'm currently not really using reference because I've looked at so much reference and I've like experimented with so much shit that I kind of just like know exactly what I want now. And this is all really just designing. You know, I'm gonna make this a better experience for you guys by doing that. You know, I'm gonna make sure and just be really zoomed in here. Even though that's not how I work, I work pretty zoomed out. Hopefully I'm fucking hitting this thing. I actually tend to work pretty zoomed out, but you know what? This is one of my favorite songs from this game. It's so freaking good, dude. It's one of my favorite, like the original song of this is one of my favorite Zelda songs. And yeah, I will like that's the thing. This video will probably get like copyright muted or VOD muted or whatever. I don't give a fucking shit. Just as long as they have my voice here and I'm still speaking. I do have copyright-free music. So I was watching a coworker and friend of mine, Alex's stream, and he was talking about large, medium, small. I always have to remind myself, and I just found myself doing that just now, because that's with this kind of like designing. It's just like I also have this thing where I like to do details like way too quickly, and so just kind of like. Sure that I'm thinking of that. There's some more too to really always have in mind, which actually this logo would break those rules in illustration, but I guess design is fine. But in illustration, like let's just say for the background, let me see where. Like for the background here, you should never have I mean, unless there's a really good reason, you should never have straight lines. Like, you know, you can have them in any other direction when you're designing and everything, but never like straight up, because that's just gonna, that looks two-dimensional now, you know? So, I can't wait to illustrate this frickin' thing, man. This is, I'm really glad I got this illustration out of this whole struggle, because what I had before just was not working. Let's see. But anyways, yeah, I would go there. I can work on this for a little second or two. One problem with having that like that is I don't have my, what's the other one? Fuck. Oh, F. That's the one. So this allows me to have all my tools on screen here. I can just kind of turn them off if I don't need them, but I have access to them. Oh man, don't you love the future, folks? You know, another thing is, like, I know Photoshop has like AI tools in them now, and I'm kind of like, I don't need them actually. Really, maybe I'm being really resistant, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of like the integrity of like having this be my own painting. Just that's what I want, you know. And I think a lot of artists can agree with that. Like all the artists I look up to, like. You know, I was even resistant to like photo bashing, I gotta say. Like, I still to this day, I've used it in my work and I know how to do it, but I just don't fucking like it, dude. I like painting. Oh my god. Alright, we're getting fucking trolled right now by this soundtrack. Let me change it. I mean, it's great. It's a great song in the game. It's not like, not right now. I was vibing on that last stuff. Yeah, this is like minigame music, man. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. It took me a while to actually warm up to Gerudo Valley as a concept. I just, for a while, was just like, fuck that. Anyways. Alright, what was I doing? So I'm doing a little bit of like, oh, you know what? I should, you guys can see this. Yeah, you know, I like to fuck with the color thing for reasons like this. So, like I want to add a little warmth into this, like patch here. So what I want to do is just sample it and then go warmer, a tip, and then higher value and more saturation. Just real quick, you know? So it gives you just a little something. And you can do that with every color, basically. I've been really getting into the messing with color lately. So like, you just noticed I put like a purple based sort of midtone there. I'm gonna go to like a green, especially because it's stone, maybe even a gray. Just kind of dip it in there, throw it around, you know? Don't get too crazy with texture yet. So I am still designing this sucker, so I'll be unwise. Yeah, I just had to catch myself. I was working way out there. Whew. Yeah, see, Gerudo Valley soundtrack has some good moments. So I'm definitely thinking about like perspective here. You know, I could make a whole perspective grid right now. I might end up having to do that, but I've done so many of these that I could really just eyeball it. Like I'm just looking at ellipses mostly, so just understanding where an ellipse starts going up as you go, you know, above a horizon line. I gotta start activating my flow state, folks. Yeah, now I still haven't figured out what I want this design to really consist of, but I have an idea. And you know what? I'm going to start a new layer. Of course, I know the shortcut, so it's just real quick. Yeah, I can see that. So I just changed the ellipse right there, and I think it looks pretty good, but could end up biting me in the ass later. can see that I've gone through a few designs here. Still not really sure where I'm gonna take it, but luckily I have layers here. You know, I can turn them on or off. I mean, this is what it was before. Let's do a layer comp. This is another reason I love layer comps. The ability to do this. Where's the layers at? I mean, I like that it's different. Might not work though. See how this works. I don't know. I should probably paint and design with this on. Maybe not. Let's try this. I don't know if it, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I worked on a. Yeah. So I like all this stuff, and I like that too. I think, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go back here. Duplicate that, but we're gonna like erase this. I think I kind of fucked up here. This is where it started going a little crazy, where I was like having to save it. Okay. I think that's a pretty reasonable spot. Now we're going to make a new layer, and I'm gonna save this. As always. See, that's looking a lot better than what I had before. just gonna kind of step back like this and do it, because I do want this to be viewable. Take a little break for a second, just kind of smell the roses. I experiment with something real quick. This harebrained idea out of my head here. Don't you dare do that, fucking bug. I get those eyes in character. Nah. I do like them being kind of like spheres. Yeah, it's just, yeah, no, I abandoned that idea. It lasted all but like a minute. Something about it is still throwing me off. figure out what this design is going to be like. Try something else. Entrance and a mouth. This happens sometimes. This is the kind of stuff I've been dealing with here. Yeah, let's just go back to what it was and try to design from here again. First of all, go. Where's my layer comps? This layer. Let's turn off. Title. Let's just go right. Source of the issue. Alrighty. Oh yeah, I know what I was gonna do. At least try this. There's a huge tangent. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna have to be careful with that because, yeah, that can easily be changed. Yeah, I'm thinking it looks pretty better, you know? I mean, it's getting there. Gives a little bit of lore as well to the, you know, what people are about to sort of, you know, encounter with the series. I'm not really loving that. Little changes, you know. I might just leave it alone for a minute, the head, just until I can figure out like what I want him to look like. Maybe just leave it in a pose or something, you know. For now. It's looking good, folks. If I just, you know, keep on the path here, should end up with a cool illustration. Oh. So, you know, take a little break for a second and I'll come back and maybe work on some, like the frame or something. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Oops, I was on mute. I was really getting into the zone there. But anyways, what I was saying earlier is it's a little better. I'm liking it a lot more. It's got some ways to go, but things are shaping up. And yeah. I probably have to eat something. But yeah, anyways, I was just saying, yeah, it's probably time for me to grab some grub and say sayonara. It's funny that it just like clicks in my head after 2 hours, like boom. So anyways, the VOD should be up. It's really kind of why I did this, was just to have a VOD up there, video on demand there. Just to kind of go back, you know, a dev blog sort of thing. I would imagine a lot of things are going to change, and you know, it's not over yet. Even if I finish an illustration, I might not like the design, and I might have to go back and fix it. And you know, it's going to evolve, and I think that the end point is going to be something just like an illustrated, almost like an illustrated book, which I do think I'm going to eventually publish, I guess. You know. But we'll see about that. Actually, I would really love to do that, to make this a book and then have it out there for people if they want to buy it. In addition to, you know, it's going to be free, of course, like the video. It's going to be on my YouTube. But I mean, I guess as a way to support what I'm doing here, might be cool to offer just a book purchase type thing. We'll see, you know. I mean, I'm going to end up, at the end of this, I'm going to end up with a lot of illustrations and some good branding, and I think, you know, a pretty good story, I think. Pretty awesome story, actually. But yeah. So I don't know, and I'm doing this without Patreon or anything like that. You know, I'm just doing it because I have to do it at this point. But anyways, I'm going to sign off, and I hope you found something cool in this. If you are coming to this video after the fact to kind of see what this kind of all came about, you know, hopefully I gave you a good explanation there. I guess the next dev vlog would probably be maybe a few months, maybe 3, maybe 4, I don't know. But it's going to be done when it's done. But yeah, I mean, obviously nobody's asking for this. I'm just going to kind of put it out there and see what happens, basically. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. So peace out. I'm gonna eat.